All right, it's time. It's October. It's a new month, and off we go, diving into old cars, illusions versus reality, and the North Star. What do they all have to do with each other? Well, you're about to find out. October is set up to be an accelerated month of transformation that's going to help you shape your reality out of challenges and into opportunities. Where we used to say practice when it doesn't count, well, guess what? That ship has sailed. This month, it all counts. It's go time. So let's dive in. I'm Vida, your host from Mastering Alchemy. I'll be sharing the latest energy insights and opportunities so you can do more than navigate the current waves of energy and get the most out of these exponential shifts in consciousness. We are off to the races this month. Things are go, go, go. They are going so much faster. In fact, it reminds me a little bit like driving my favorite car. When I was a teenager, I got to drive a 1980s Bronco. It was phenomenal. Favorite car. Love the thing. Still love it. Wished I had it. But what we did love about driving that car was there was a definite threshold where the car would really start shaking if you went too fast. There was like this great point where you're like, yeah, no, that's where it's fine staying at this speed. But any bit more than that, it starts to really shake, rattle, and roll. The parts really start falling apart. So it is kind of a great description of how this month is. So we're all going a lot faster. We all have these old bits and bobs, stuff from a long time ago that has kind of starting to shake and rattle and roll, where we used to be able to kind of hold and maintain our level of operation at this balancing point. Now with things all amplified, it no longer holds balance. So a lot of this stuff has got to get dropped off and come out. So what does that look like? These could be big surprises, like just silly stuff where you're bumping into walls, you order online and you ordered the wrong thing, or something else totally shows up. Or it could be something just kind of silly and just out of the blue. Like we had a power outage, which we hardly ever had randomly. Who knows why last week, but what are you going to do? It's just power's out. Okay. So there's a lot of bumps, kind of a bit like that, where things were supposed to work that just all of a sudden don't. And then there's going to probably be more extreme levels of that where you're like, hey, health issue or a challenge financially, or so some of these bigger pieces could also surprise kind of pop up type of a thing as we're kind of going faster. What we thought was working just fine, all of a sudden the screw's loose and you lose half your engine down the road or your wheel falls off. So it's a level of management, of very masterful managing how these surprises, when they come into your space, how well can you manage them? And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about through this whole kind of conversation and through the whole month as these surprises come up. Also interesting, there's a point where our whole lives we've, let's say, contributed to these buckets or rocks that we've kind of put in our backpack. So let's talk about, say, like a sadness bucket. So every time I was sad, I kind of would add drops of water to this bucket, but I'm never truly getting to dump it or reconcile it. These things have kind of experiences we've had have kind of accumulated. And now that we're moving so fast, we just can't balance that and maintain this bucket anymore. It's going to spill. And so these are several large experiences, or it's kind of just all kind of spilling out and hitting the fan, so to speak, and really flying back in your face as all of this stuff is being almost forcefully pushed at you. So you're kind of having to manage through this accumulation of experiences that we just are kind of need to process through and let go. And the good news is it's going fast, so you don't have to deal with it and stir in it too much longer if you don't keep your finger in the light socket. So that's kind of the trickiest part, is to go, how can I stay out of, ooh, this is uncomfortable, I don't like this. Oh my gosh, why is this here? I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm going to roll, like, why is my power out? This isn't working. There's a lot of kind of moments where that's the resistance of you pushing or pulling against the experience of what's happening versus getting quiet, aware, present, and go, okay, what can I do in this very moment? And kind of managing it from I'm centered, I'm okay, I'm right here, I can be quiet and very present of what's going on. So in this managed space versus, oh my goodness, how am I going to deal with this? How's this coming? You can kind of see a little bit of the difference in how you're able to manage as all of this stuff comes kind of flying at you fast. So how to manage this? This is your tools. All of this is those energy tools. Couldn't be more important. If you have not played in the Mastering Alchemy and tried the energy tools, we do have free videos here on YouTube. Go look them up. Just type in energy tools, the rose, grounding, center of your head. They're phenomenal. I highly, highly recommend you try them. They work. So that is the sweet spot here. They were all designed to work as we deal with a lot of this kind of energy coming at you to help you maintain your space, whether it's other people's energy flying at you, whether it's old backpack stuff coming up and out flying at you. It's really just going to help you keep grounded. If you have done Mastering Alchemy before and you're hearing this, go back to level 1 or refresh those tools. Spend time with that level 1 work of just grounding. Just, I'm right here and I'm okay. You're going to need it. And this is the time to really be masterful with those tools and helping yourself as you kind of, and others, manage this difficult spaces as we work through a lot of this bigger kind of energy as it's coming up fast, fast, fast. So the second theme here that we're talking about regarding illusions and reality is what's happening as you are working through these challenges and why it counts in everything that you're doing here this month, be it a simple experience at the grocery store, a simple power outage, or dealing with something that's way more personal, whether it's a health challenge or a financial challenge. These things are really going to count as we create our levels of realities. And I'll kind of talk about this through an experience. I recently went to Alaska, and what an incredible place. And it was a very interesting experience to reflect on in just not only being there, but going through this, because our flight that we took up there is what's called a milk run, because I was going to a small town. So you do lots of little hops and jumps into each of the different towns in Alaska. So we went to our first one, and as we're landing, you couldn't see much. The cloud layer was super low, and I'm excited to see Alaska. So of course it's kind of, and I know it's a coastal town, right? So everything in the weather shifts really quickly, but the layer of clouds and fog was really, really low. Not much to see. I could see water, a couple houses and trees as we're kind of coming down and landing. And that's all I got. And then the next town, it was a little higher. So in this case, I could almost see the mountains, not quite the tops of the mountains, but I could see quite a bit more. And that was beautiful and amazing to kind of see more of the ground and everything around and the wild landscape that it is. And then in our final destination, it was good weather. And I could see everything. I could see mountains upon mountains upon mountains. It was amazing how far back that would go. And the glaciers were huge and massive and incredible to see. It was so beautiful. But interesting to note, right? The level of capacity and what we're able to see with clouds, without clouds. Now I'll use this as an analogy here in a little bit in regards to a hike we went on. So the first day was amazing, beautiful, in awe. Jaws dropped. This place is incredible. The second day, it's a coastal town. It was nothing but rain and wind. And we had quite a bit of rain and wind in the morning. And we were watching the hourly forecast because there's a hike. We really wanted to go see some glaciers. And as we were getting ready to go, we're like, okay, here's a break. Let's go in the afternoon around 2:00. So we get ready to go. We get out there. It's drizzle. We're like, no problem. We've prepared for drizzle. It's Alaska. That's how it works. So I'm from the Northwest. Drizzle is our standard here. No big deal. So we're going out. We go on the hike. And as we're out on the hike, the weather shifts and it is a complete downpour. I am not prepared for a downpour. It is a torrential downpour. So we go hide under some trees and are just basically sitting there waiting for the rain to finish. And it was interesting to watch how I was reacting to the torrential downpour. It was really coming down. I was like, oh no, what if we get stuck here? I don't know. This is a really remote part of Alaska. Are the bears coming through? Am I going to get eaten? Like my train of thought goes into, oh no, oh no, oh no. And it just continues to accelerate. So in the moment, this is a pattern. I'm having to pause, take a step back and go, all right, you're right here. This is where you're at. It's raining and you're okay. Like, yes, you might be a little more wet than you intended, but can you let go? And so in that moment, I really worked on letting go. And as I did, I started to enjoy the raindrops as they kind of were hitting the puddles. Like, it was incredible. And then it felt amazing too, just to have the pounding rain on my back and the sounds. And it just turned into something so beautiful. It was such a surprise to me to be able to really get quiet, pause, step back, and be comfortable in a level of what normally would be complete discomfort. So in that moment, I was really able to shift my reality into a level of comfort. And as I got more and more relaxed, I was like, oh, okay, I can do it. I got this. This is going to be fine. I'll just be wet today. What in the world was I even worrying about? And then from that standpoint, and of course, this is how it worked, the rain started stopping and it got lighter and lighter. And I was like, wait, we weren't supposed to see blue skies today. It was just supposed to be a drizzle whole day. And then we had this beautiful opening and we really could see the glaciers and the mountains. It was incredible. It was so amazing to see. But you can kind of see how this reality is shifting and how you're shaping your reality based on how you're responding to what's uncomfortable in your space. Now, this gets really important to pay attention to on how it is we're reacting. Let's dig in a little bit deeper into that. This process that we're in right now is really a big, deep cleaning cycle. Those old wounds, accumulated buckets of sadness, or whatever those buckets and ways, shapes, or forms that come in, all of that energy of whatever form of I'm not okay that's in it, it's all of that is coming up to look at how it is you react and what expectations you had and where things were going smooth. And then when they don't, how do you manage that? And what reactive tendencies are there? And those are the patterns that we want to look at, because this is an important point, because it's about how do you get what you want? And while it seems counterintuitive because you're like, hey, I'm not getting what I want, this is the opposite. I've been doing energy work or healing work or whatever, struggling so hard for so long to get things in order or my finances the way I want them to be. And everything that I've been doing seems to continue to fall short. So it's interesting, though, because this is the question. How do you respond when you don't get what you want? And that is what's going to lead you to getting what you want. It just makes me smile. But how is it that you deal with, say, what we perceive as failure, where we can only see so far because the clouds are there? And how is it that we get the sunny day that we're looking for? Now, interestingly, I also think the airplane is a great example of how it is that you get what you want. So when everyone kind of sits down and are finding their seats, you come up and find someone in your seat. Do you kind of kindly ask and be like, hey, I think you're sitting in my seat? And then the person's like, well, this is my seat and I'm right here. And you're like, well, my ticket says this. What does your ticket say? And it's very interesting because everyone's reactions can be very different. In some cases, do you push and be like, well, hey, this is my seat and this is what I want? But did you check to make sure that that was your seat on your ticket and maybe you saw it was wrong? Or are you someone that if your seat is challenged, do you just give up your seat right away? Or are you more on guard? Do you get really frustrated? Do you get fearful? Like, oh no, someone's going to come take my seat. Or the one next to you that you really want to be empty. You're like, oh, I hope someone doesn't come and sit there. I want an empty seat. So it's really interesting. How is it that you get what it is you want? So looking at, do you kind of push to get what you want? Be like, hey, this is my seat, my territory. Or do you kind of go, oh, okay, well, if there's an incongruency where there is someone sitting in your seat, or whether you are sitting and you're in a seat and someone's kind of saying, hey, I think I'm supposed to be there. How do you manage that space? And so do you kind of calmly go, oh, well, let me check my ticket. And where is my seat sitting, and kind of confirm all of the pieces and kind of can sort it out in a very calm manner. In the same aspect, like if someone tells you no, are you going, oh, well, okay, so you said no, but what do you mean by that? And then how is it that you're coming to that conclusion, and what can we talk about? And maybe there's a new door and an opportunity that sits inside that no that is there, but you missed it because you were too frustrated by the fact that they said no, or too felt shut down, or how you deal with that loss, or feel like, is it even a loss? So the perceptions on how you kind of deal with things when they're not running smooth, that's kind of this big component to look at on how it is we navigate without stepping on other people's toes, and yet have the space that I need. And how is it that I can be certain and capable and in authority of my own space, and yet allow other people? And how do I handle this when things are uncertain? So you don't want to actually answer any of those questions that I just asked in a way, but this is the layering of energy that I'm trying to kind of point at, so you can kind of see what's being cleaned out and how it is that you're reacting when things become uncertain, or they don't go the way that you want, or you get a no, or however that occurs. That is a key piece to flipping things on their side to get you to that point in what it is that you want. So we're looking at especially clearing out a lot of these patterns of behavior, responses, reactiveness that we have when things become uncertain, in question, or aren't working quite right. So as you're playing out this month, it is a huge opportunity to go, where am I still reacting? Where am I not managing my space, staying calm, centered, very present, and aware? So how to get the most out of this, to really juice this energy so you can really cross this last line that says, hey, well, you can't have that, and hold the yes I can in a way that allows flexibility for it to be able to work out for you in the best way possible. So as we're looking at this, you really want to, on the hows, is use the 8th ray. So if you have not gotten to level 2, that's where we share about the 8th ray. This particular tool is phenomenal for cleaning out large patterns, or say that bucket of sadness that we were talking about before, where you have, hey, this is the pattern that I do when someone either challenges my space, I get frustrated and angry. Those are the patterns that we're trying to pull out using that. It's a phenomenal way. But when you're in the moment and someone is like in your face challenging you, that's where the rose is the best thing to use. So if you haven't gotten there, no problem. Use the rose and keep playing with it as you kind of clean out all these little small bits and pieces, or as these things arise. And that's just putting the energy in the rose. In fact, if you haven't played with it yet, there are some great free videos we have on our channel as well. So go ahead and search energy tools on the channel, and then you'll be able to find some help and ideas and get some pieces going there. But we would absolutely love for you to try and take the Energy Essentials class. It is going to outline and set up all of your energetic fields, and this personal power field and unified field that is going to really help kind of stabilize you and set you into a stronger foundation. Now, if you have played in Mastering Alchemy and you did level 1 a long time ago, or haven't played with those basic tools, it's time to go back. Really work. They are the most powerful tools. Upgrade, rework with them. We did a lot of work in July with bringing those in and reworking those tools, because it counts this month. It really is counting as how you navigate, and it's creating the outcomes of what it is that you want on the flip side. So use the 8th ray to help pull out any patterns, or use the rose, whichever it is. But this is definitely the month to go deeper and find the pictures behind the pictures in what it is that's coming up. So in this last piece to talk about the energy this month, I want to talk a little bit about encouragement and hope. And this is such a deep journey that we're going on. It's an incredible opening that's actually happening. We're moving into those higher speeds, right? As much as the challenges that are coming up, this is the moments in the stories that we love and remember that stick with us and change us, are because the characters now going through these deep transformations and finding a new inner strength. And that is what comes out of this month. It's going to be a profound inner strength as you work through these challenges that are coming. And while uncomfortable, the amount of beauty and the skies that will open up and the mountains and the glaciers and the incredibleness of all of that is what's just behind the clouds. You're shaping that reality as you're shaping those challenges and how you view those challenges. You really are altering your reality as you're adjusting that. So it is a huge month of transformation with a massive amount of beauty on the other side. If we can all sit in this rainstorm together and just allow the rain, allow the release, and allow it to let go, and to really take that step back and find our centers and know we're always okay. So however it is that you like to hold on to your North Star, that sense of hope, that sense of well-being, that is going to be what you'll want to do. So if it is putting a smiley face on a sticker in the morning that says, on the end of your bed, the first thing you see that says, "Good morning, it's going to be a great day." If, or whatever it is, that maybe it's watching really inspiring movies or hearing good, or stories, or maybe it's calling a friend. Those are kind of the moments you really want to kind of find and kind of uplift and reset you when you walk into the self-doubt or to the sadness or into those difficult moments. Find and know what your way is ahead of time and what you need to kind of reset, because as you're facing the what would be perceived as failure, the illusion of failure is the next step into success. So if we can all kind of transform what it is that we see for the illusion that it is into the reality that it is that we want, it is happening. And in a way, it's allowing things to fall apart to fall together. Not in a passive way of giving up. It's just knowing that there's more behind the cloud and that you can really have what it is that you want and you can get there. So I just really wish to kind of leave that with you. This is an incredibly powerful month to find your inner strength, and you have it. It's always been with you. You are that powerful. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you feel encouraged and excited for the possibilities ahead. If you would like to play further, in the Energy Alignment Kit class this month, we'll be doing some powerful energy work that's all centered around the creation of your reality. There's a whole lot more inside that class. It's a big one. You can also sign up for our free newsletter, and we'll have some more helpful conversations this month. One with Jim regarding the color codes, and another one all about protecting your energy and what even is protection energy. That's coming from another great question that someone had left below in the comments. So please continue to leave your comments and your questions. We really appreciate them. And be sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next month.